Say good morning. This is Tweety. This is her morning face. She went crazy today with her hair, and it's been about 2 weeks since her bath. We're letting her get kind of scruffy. Hi, Tweety. And normally when I put her hair up, it lasts about a week or so. Tweety does stain. I know she looks real pretty in pictures, but she does have some staining, and every morning she gets little crusties, just like my daughter. She wakes up and she has ginormous eye boogers every morning, and you know, some dogs are just prone to tearing, and she's always had tear staining, and I think having the hair short doesn't help matters, but she'll always have a big eye booger every day. So how I clean her face is I will get this warm water, and then you use these makeup pads from Costco. I think I buy a giant box. And what I do is I'll moisten it in the warm water and cool it on the edge. Yeah, you're used to this, aren't you? Let's just put it up here so people can see. Okay. It's warm, it's not hot. But just like at the spa, when you get a facial, they take a hot towel and they cool it before they put it on you. So with Tweety, I have a couple of regimens. What I'll do is I have a facial wash that I use. It's a blueberry, let's see if I can get it out. It's a blueberry spa Tropiclean blueberry stain remover. It's a facial cleanser, and I actually do use this about once a week in the bathtub. But sometimes you just don't want to go through the trouble of getting their whole face wet and stressing them out by putting them in the bath just to wash their face. So I cheat, and I actually took an old Bath and Body Works foaming soap, and I put some of this in here, and I added some sterile water. I actually added Arrowhead water, and I put some in and I shook it up. And I made more of a diluted solution that I could use on a daily basis. But I do use the concentrated version when I bathe her. So what I'll do with her is, now that these are warm but not hot, I'll put a little bit of this on. And again, my routine changes from dog to dog. It changes from day to day. And what I'll do is making sure, even though it's tear-free, I will not get it in their eyes. And I just kind of clean the eye boogers out. You can see there's an eye booger. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Tweety, you're such a good girl. And they always look worse after you do this, because the moisture of the water actually exacerbates the staining. But after you do the cleaning and it dries out, their face goes pretty white. This eye, let's get the booger out. Good girl. Okay, so after I do that, what I'll do is I'll rinse it now. This one got a little bit too cool. It works a little better if you work faster. I usually work faster because I'm not talking. So you'll see some of the staining coming out on the cotton swab. And this is just easier than sticking me in a bath, and she hates. Tweety absolutely detests getting bathed. Absolutely hates it. Good girl. And there we go. One more step to being glamorous. After this dries, you can see that it is significantly cleaner, even though it's a little rust colored when it's wet. Now these little hairs here, she's usually trimmed pretty tight because she's in kind of a Korean American cut, but I'm actually growing her out. It's been over a month now. I'm growing this eye hair out, which will cause some additional staining because it'll poke her. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't poke her in the eyes. But what I'm going to do is, I've had a lot of people asking me to do a video tutorial on how I cut her hair in this Korean American fusion haircut. I call it SoCal, from Seoul, Korea to California. And so we're going to let her get a little scruffy and long in her body before we do a full clipping tutorial. And I'll show you exactly how I trim her face to give her that cute little Korean look. And that's it. She's pretty clean. But like I said, she does stain. And once this all dries, she looks pretty good. Now what you can do also to help dry this out, and what I do with Pinky, is I actually will have a little bit of cornstarch. This is just plain old cornstarch that you use for cooking in the kitchen. You want to smell that? And you can get a facial Q-tip. It's pointed on one end and it's round on the other, and it's non-fibrous, unlike the traditional Q-tips, although the regular Q-tips work fine too. And what I'll do is I'll dip it in the cornstarch, and you can use a cosmetic eyeshadow brush, whatever, but you just carefully, what this does is it'll dry out this wetness right around the eyes, and it really does help the staining from spreading all over. And I haven't done this on Tweety, but I'm going to start doing it just to see if it will help. So everyone else at home will be able to see the progress of whether this cornstarch helps her or not. It does significantly help Pinky. Come here, you. We'll see if it helps Tweety. So I just put it in, I don't let it get in her eyes, and I just rub it in. Then you might actually, thank you. So usually after you take out Tweety's top knot, because she's had it in her hair for a week, she's really good about keeping the top knot in her hair for a long time. There'll be a few mats. I don't know if you can see on camera, but these mats, I don't really want to brush those out until they've been detangled. So what I'll do is I'm going to cover her eyes, and I'm going to spray, and she hates moisture, I'm going to spray some of this in her hair. And loosen. See if I can adjust the camera. There we go. Loosen these out before I take a brush to it. I know. I won't get it in your face. And the reason why I do it with my hands first is because the brush, even though this is probably pretty good, the brush will pull a little bit, so if I can use the ice on ice to loosen it first, then by the time I take a brush to it, it won't hurt her. So now this is like using my fingers. It's a really great substitute to using my fingers, especially when there's mats. And there's some mats here that I haven't really pulled out yet, but you want to loosen this all up. And then, this is similar to fingers. This is the brush, the Chris Christensen wood pin brush. And it's super, it's like having a whole bunch of fingers. It's very gentle, it won't pull. And I'm going to just brush all this out. I know there's a lot of videos out there where the dogs are really good and they'll just lay there, and that's great. It's really great when dogs are that used to being groomed that they'll just almost look like they're falling asleep. Unfortunately, the reality for a lot of us, including me, is that the dogs are going to fidget. And although Tweety's calm right now, she'll fidget. Once I get one band in, she'll think, okay, we're done, and she'll get up. Then once she realizes, no, she's not done, I thought she was done, she'll go back down. So this is real world. The dogs don't normally lay down and fall asleep while we're trying to groom them. The reality is they'll fidget. And I know when I go to get my spa, I fidget too, because I don't know, I guess I'm a restless type of person. So the lady that's usually working on me, if I go and get any kind of treatment or facial, she's usually telling me to relax, because my mind is usually going a million miles a minute, thinking about my kids and the chores I have to do. So now here what I want to do is I've created a part for Tweety. She has a really long top knot. And in order to keep this hair back here back and not pulling and tangling, they would set a comb down. And that would hold those hairs flat, especially if there's static in the air. In California here, it's been really windy and there's lots of static. So none of this hair is going to get in the way of the top knot. So what I'll do is I'll usually come in from behind. If I come in this way, what happens is after I'm finished doing the top knot's going to slump forward. And we don't really want that. So what I've learned after many, many tries, because it does take practice, is I'll come in from behind and grab the hair. Tweety, you're being such a good girl. This is such a good girl. And I'll do that. And I'll come in from behind. And what happens is the front is going to be higher than the back when you do that and come in from the behind. And it helps the top knot lay backwards when you're done. So I have ginormous fingers. So it's really hard to work with these little bands. And see, it'll sit kind of backwards, which is what you want in a top knot. It's not perfectly even, but it's okay. This is home grooming. She's not a show dog. She's not competing. So what I've done here is I'll use the tail comb and I'll kind of loosen the hair front to back, and then I'll poke it here and loosen it here to here. And the reason why I do that is because you don't want anything pulling. It could be one hair. It's kind of like that that popcorn kernel that's stuck in between two teeth. You really don't want even one hair to be pulling on her, because that's gonna hurt her. So now with this, what I think I might do today, I won't go through the braid because it takes too long, is I'm gonna separate out the hairs, and it doesn't have to be exact, but try to create a straight line here and a straight line here. Tweety, you're not snoring, are you? And we'll split this in half. So we'll cut a straight line here. Pretty straight line. Hopefully that shows on camera. We'll take this and split them up. Then what we'll do, you're still awake, Tweet. Again, it doesn't really need to be exact, but we'll split this in half. Like that. Why are you being so good, Tweety? I just got these fluorescent top knot bands when I ordered these band scissors, and I'm really liking them. They're kind of bright and colorful for spring. And so what I'm doing is I'm making pigtails. I split this and making sure there's no hair. Just gonna do quick little piggy tails back here. Tweety has really long ears, and so when she drinks water, they get wet. When we go for a walk, they get dirty. She brings in all kinds of grass and junk, and So after a couple weeks it gets kind of discolored and it's not straight anymore. But it's okay. Oh, I'm not done, babe. One more. One more, boo. Go back to sleeping or snoring. But you know, it's okay. We don't tie them up. We let her ears get wet. She doesn't seem to mind. They're not pristine all the time. Like right now. They're pretty dirty and she needs a bath. But she's still very, very pretty. Even if the tips of her ears are drippy wet. They do have special water bowls. I've tried all that and they just don't seem to work. So for me, but I know other people really love them. So here I've put them in piggies and they're not perfect. I'm just doing them real quickly. But I'm going to come back and I loosen all the hairs going all the way around just to make sure there's nothing. Yes? Can you say goodbye? Goodbye.